Welcome to Grapple FK, everyone. We're going straight into the Azaitar Worthy fight today. Just before that, actually, quickly, thank you for everyone who's left comments on our previous videos. We will get back to you ASAP. Believe it or not, Andrew and I actually have full-time jobs. You're probably thinking we don't because the analyses are so good, but we do. So there you go.
Don't actually get paid for this, believe it or not.
Sorry?
We don't actually get paid for this.
Yeah, we don't get paid for this. Yeah,
amazing.
probably shocked some people. But let's go straight into this. So I'll start off with actually one thing that I've picked up on straight away is that on Sherdog, Azaitar's height is 5'7".
Interesting.
On this, it's 5'8". But when he was fighting the, what was a Scandinavian dude's name? Pekkalan?
Timu Pekkalan, yeah.
That guy's 6'1", so around my height. He looked significantly shorter than him.
He did.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Azaitar is 5'7"-ish. And we know that people do lie about their height and reach. It's more common in boxing, but it does happen in MMA too. Khama Worthy's 5'11". He used to be a 145-pounder. Now he's 155 pounds. He has a 3-inch reach advantage. And I think this is particularly important and could play a significant part in this fight. But I'll just get your opinion on that. Do you think size could play a part in this fight? He's a lot bigger than him.
Yes. Azaitar's size does worry me a little bit. I suspect that you're right. He is closer to 5'7" because the UFC does inflate people's heights.
Yeah.
That does worry me. Azaitar is not the biggest lightweight. He's definitely on the smaller side. He's not tiny. He's not undersized, but he's definitely on the smaller side. But then again, against Timu Pekkalan, a solid 6'1", he knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, he knocked him out cold.
And I think Azaitar's been knocking people out in different organizations who are also bigger than him. So I'm not too worried. But also, the size thing, I'm not too worried, partly because Khama Worthy's chin has been cracked multiple times. He's been knocked out 5 times. So I don't think Azaitar's going to struggle in the power department here.
It should be noted that he's been knocked out at 145. He hasn't been knocked out at 155. Now, some people may question that and say, what's the reasoning behind that? We know that, it's happened to various fighters that struggle to make weight. When they do, you give up a lot of energy and you're more prone to being knocked out. So that's happened with Till when he was at 170, Whittaker at 170 as well. There's multiple examples of this.
If you're dehydrated,
you're right, he has been knocked out.
Yeah, you have less liquid in your brain when you're dehydrated, which decreases the cushion in between your brain and your skull. So I think that's part of the reason there. But that's a good point.
Yeah. No, I think.
Yeah, you make a good point. I didn't actually realize Khama Worthy was going up here.
So the two other gentlemen on this card that are the co-main that we've been through. So our buddy, or was that another card? Who am I getting confused with here? No, it's on this card. Yeah, so these two, Billy Quarantillo and Kyle Nelson, have both knocked Khama Worthy out.
Yeah,
at
that's true.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, though.
That was a long time ago, and he was going through a particularly rough patch in his career, but it was at 145. So I think that's a significant point. The one thing about, I don't normally get worried about height unless the discrepancy is very large, which it could be in this case. It could be 4 inches. The one thing that I'm worried about is the reach for Azaitar, because what Azaitar is going to do, similar to what he did with the Scandinavian, is and what he's done in other fights, is he has to close the gap and rush in and throw shots. Now, look at Worthy's arms in that picture.
Yeah, those are long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are long.
I suspect that either Ottman's reach has been inflated, or they haven't measured Khama Worthy's reach properly. And he's very explosive. And I can see this happening in this fight. Ottman rushing forward and Worthy catching him.
Khama Worthy does have nice counter boxing.
He does, and
Yeah.
he's very explosive, and he has knocked people out in the UFC too. And that brings me to another point that I want your opinion on. Although he has more losses and he's been knocked out and so on, he's fought much better people. Ottman's only fought one average, well, below average UFC fighter. He's only had one fight in the UFC to someone who's 1-3. Khama Worthy's knocked one guy out in the UFC, and after that, he choked out Luis Pena, who we know is a pretty good grappler coming out of AKA.
He's very good, very good.
Yeah. And he's fought UFC caliber fighters at 145 as well. Okay, he got knocked out, but that's still experience with high-level guys. So what do you think about that?
You're definitely right in the sense that Khama Worthy's got more experience. He's fought better guys. That win against Luis Pena is a very good win.
Yeah, it was a good win.
And Ottman Azaitar, yeah, he's only had one win in the UFC. But I'm not so worried about the lack of experience. Because when you're knocking people out constantly, like your entire record is first round knockouts, and you've got, I don't know how many he's got, but it must be like 10 or something, maybe more.
It's like 8 or 9, yeah. He's knocked a lot of people out in the first round.
Yeah, that tells me that it's not a coincidence.
No, he's got insane power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got really nice boxing. It's not just power, it's really nice boxing as well. And,
yeah, his boxing's very good.
Yeah. I haven't seen him throw many kicks. I haven't seen much of a ground game. But just to talk about his boxing for a second, you mentioned he's going to have to close the gap. Of course, that's a challenge. But he does the thing Mike Tyson used to do, like the being the shorter fighter. He comes in like this, right?
Yeah.
The classic Mike Tyson move to cover the distance, and then of course he explodes like the peekaboo thing.
Yeah.
Which worked to great effect for Mike Tyson. He does that. And in the fights I've seen, he does close the distance. He lands. He's not just like a one-punch knockout artist, where it's just one punch and, he's taking 10.
Yeah.
He's landing a lot. So, from my point of view, I'm not too worried about the distance.
Well, I mean, that's shown here with the significant strikes, 7.61. It's actually higher than Khama Worthy's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good that ESPN actually shows this, because for newer fighters, the UFC doesn't show this. Yeah, that's a huge volume, 7.6.
And it should be mentioned that most of his fights have been in Brave, which is a new organization, but some good quality fighters are coming out of Brave. For instance, the most notable one recently is Khamzat.
Oh, did he come from Brave?
Yeah, he came straight from Brave. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Ottman was the lightweight champion at Brave.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a very good boxer, and I mentioned to you that Mike Tyson actually gave him some advice at his ranch, because in his previous fight, Mike Tyson said to him that it was a good knockout, but you weren't jabbing enough. Mm-hmm. As in, you weren't throwing the jab straight enough. And he said, a problem will arise if your opponent has a good jab, which Timu didn't have. He wasn't really jabbing at him properly. However, Khama can jab, and he's very explosive. So
that's interesting.
This is a very interesting fight. I mean, I'm going to put it out there now. I think this could be fight of the night.
Could well be, yeah.
Yeah, I think this could probably be fight of the night, because they're both strikers. They've both got KO power. They finish guys. All right, Khama's finished guys by submission as well. Ottman hasn't. Ottman's short, but I mean, look at him. He's stacked.
He's well built. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this could be fight of the night.
It's definitely going to be a banger.
Stance as well. That's interesting. He switches stance.
Yeah, that's always useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you though. What do you make of their respective ground games?
The thing is, I haven't seen Ottman's ground game, because he knocks everyone the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And it's the same as the Ngannou effect at lightweight. You know, what is his ground game? We don't know.
Yeah, so it's a question of, have we just not seen it because he doesn't have to use it yet, or does
Yeah.
he not have it? And we just don't know because there's literally no footage. Or I saw one fight on YouTube where he was taken down, he managed to get up, and that was kind of it. But the guy taking him down was a kickboxer, he wasn't really a grappler, so we didn't really learn much. So I think we have to assume that Ottman doesn't have a ground game. Or
A
much
very
of
basic
one.
ground game. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Khama Worthy's ground game I think, is relatively rudimentary, but he has one.
He has one and it's improving. So he submitted a relatively good wrestler in his last fight.
Luis Pena.
Yeah.
So do you remember that fight? So in the second round, Luis Pena was grapple fucking him, but Khama Worthy was surviving.
Yeah.
And in the third round, Luis Pena took Khama Worthy down again.
And he got him in the guillotine.
Yeah, as Luis Pena was coming in for the takedown, Luis Pena got on the guillotine, which I think was maybe a little bit lucky, to be honest. But
yeah, I mean, Luis Pena probably could have won that fight. He just had to grapple fuck him one more round. Stay out of a risky position. Just throw him around for another round, and he probably would have won that fight. But I mean, I think in a way it's. Has he got any other submissions on his record?
Not that I'm aware. Or maybe one going back a long way.
Yeah.
He's not a submission guy, let's put it that way.
He's not a submission guy, but he has a few on his record. He's got one in the UFC. He does have KO power. He's KO'd a few people. He's definitely KO'd someone in the UFC. He KO'd a decent fighter in the UFC before the Pena fight. I forget his name.
Adam Ward.
So that's his sub average is at the bottom, actually 0.88. Yeah, so I mean, Ottman's 0, he's 0.88. So they both, they're not sub guys. Significant strike accuracy is almost the same. Ottman lands more significant strikes. However, he's fought lower class opposition, so that has to be taken with a pinch of salt. This is a tough one. Is there anything else that you've noticed in their previous fights that you think is worth mentioning?
What I like about Khama Worthy is his boxing. He's good coming forward, and he's also good with counter punching.
Yeah, he's good going back.
Yeah, which I always like. He's got good kicks, good inside leg kicks, good middle kicks. He's just an all-round very good striker. Not the world's best, but just very good. Yeah, that's about it. For me, it comes down to the ground game, which is a big question mark. If Ottman Azaitar, if I'd seen some fights where Ottman Azaitar has stuffed takedowns and had some control time against a reasonable level grappler, I'll bet on Ottman Azaitar all day long.
Yeah.
As it is, it's just a question mark, and it's difficult to bet on him because of it. Khama Worthy is by far the better all-round MMA fighter.
Yeah.
But then I'm coming back to Ottman Azaitar's just ferocious KO power.
Incredibly aggressive as well.
Because he's got that kind of power that he can knock you out so quickly, and he can knock you out before it goes to the ground. Like in Ghana.
He has retarded power, as they say. Like Henderson.
Yes.
One shot, you're down.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's so good on the feet that maybe the ground game won't necessarily come into it.
Yeah.
Because, you've got to, again, Khama Worthy's got to close the distance, to get the takedown. And in between, the two fighters is Ottman Azaitar throwing bombs.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, he closed, all right. I haven't seen many of his Brave fights. I've seen a few where he's just gone forward and he's completely starched people. He's closed the gap and he's starched people. With Timu, he did the same, but Timu wasn't really throwing back anything that was significant to worry him. And granted, he has very good head movement and so on. He has the peekaboo style. What I can actually see happening in this fight, I don't know why, is Ottman rushing forward and Khama catching him with something massive. Because when you're rushing forward at someone, you've essentially done 90% of the work for them. You're coming forward. If he even lands a 60% shot, it could, even if it's a flash knockdown, you know, that would lead to, I don't know, possibly a 10-9, 10-8 round, depending on another knockdown. I can see that happening. I think this is a tough one. In terms of a prediction, I was initially when I first heard about this fight, I was initially thinking Ottman, because he does have insane KO power. But then when I started looking more into it, his height, which I think is more around 5'7", his reach is probably not 71 inches. He's fought lower level opposition. Khama has been knocked out a few times, but that's at 145. He's a 155er now, and he's on like a 6 or 7 fight win streak. I'd be inclined to say my opinion. I think Khama will win this. How he wins, I'm not sure, but I think he wins. I think it's quite possible.
Sorry.
I think it's quite possible that he could probably KO Ottman, in my opinion, or win a decision.
The good thing about Khama is he's got multiple ways to win.
That's the thing, yeah.
He can KO you. He can take you to a decision. He can probably grapple you as well, and then submit.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Luis Pena grapple fucked him, but he couldn't finish him. He was fending it off. He was getting back up. He was getting taken back down. He was getting back up again. And, you know, Luis Pena is a guy that spent most of his career at AKA. He's recently moved, I think, a year ago to American Top Team, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's American Top Team now. But, you know, anyone coming out of AKA is a very good wrestler. And he did well with him. Okay, you could say maybe the submission was a bit lucky and so on. But, you know, at the end of the day, he submitted him in the second round or the third round or whatever it was. So I think in terms of a prediction, I'm leaning more towards Khama Worthy now. I think he'll win this. In terms of a bet, it's a tough one to include in an accumulator, I think.
Definitely not for the cum-cum, this one.
Yeah, this one might have to stay out of the cum-cum. And again, for everyone who's watching, cum-cum means accumulator, just to clear that up. Yeah, I'm going with Khama in this.
Yeah, this is a really hard one. I like both of them a lot.
Yeah, no, they're both good. They're both good.
I'm gonna have to go with Ottman Azaitar, simply because that power is real. His knockouts, his long track record of knockouts is not a coincidence. And I think he can do it again. And Khama Worthy has been knocked out 5 times before. So if Ottman Azaitar lands, I think he's going to hurt Khama and quite possibly knock him out. If Ottman lands a few clean shots, which he will at some point throughout the fight, I think Khama Worthy is going to sleep. Yeah,
no, that's very probable as well.
Yeah.
It's another fight where we've gone separate ways, mate.
Well, yeah.
This relationship's falling apart very quickly.
Yeah, but this is a tough one.
It's incredible. It's an incredibly tough one, and that's reflected by the odds.
Yeah. So just looking at what the odds are.
It says it here at the top. It's plus.
Oh, okay.
Ottman's plus 115 and Khama's minus 135.
Yeah, I think on Paddy Power, I've got odds of plus 120 for Ottman Azaitar, which may be, I think, just enough value for me to do as an individual bet.
Yeah. Well, if you do it as an individual bet, KO, which is probably the way he would get it done. What is that?
If you bear with me, I'll have a look.
Okay.
I don't think the odds are going to be great just because he's got so many KOs on his record.
Yeah, he has. They might be relatively okay because Khama's favourite overall.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have the odds yet.
I don't know. Okay.
For method of victory, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm probably going to put a single bet on Ottman Azaitar. But
Okay.
this is not, you know, for anyone watching, this is not like a sure thing. I'm not that confident on this. I'm placing this kind of bet. And, you know, in the long term, I think this kind of bet will probably pay off marginally. But if I'm looking to make some money on this on Saturday night, you know, it's not a sure thing by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, and I have to reiterate that this is not going in the come for me.
Yeah, definitely not on the come.
And I'll probably put, well, I'll see the value in it. I'll probably put an individual bet down on Khama Worthy. But yeah, I mean, this is an interesting one. I think he'll get fight of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger for sure.
It's definitely going to be a banger.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's the analysis for Ottman Azaitar against Khama Worthy. So this is Morocco against the USA. It was actually Germany against the USA. He was born in Germany, but for some reason, everyone in Germany doesn't want to be affiliated with Germany, and they really need fighters right now. So
surprisingly bad at MMA.
Yeah, they need fighters like him. He was born in Germany. Afghan Gastelum was born in Germany. There's a few other Germans of Central Asian and North African backgrounds that should really be flying the German flag because they're struggling. They're struggling out there.
They are.
But yeah, so I think Khama Worthy. Yeah, I think Khama Worthy will win this. I'm not sure how, but I think Khama Worthy will get the win. And Andrew.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ottman Azaitar first round knockout.
Well, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. And again, to everyone who's commented on our videos, we'll get back to you very, very shortly. Keep watching. Our Instagram handle is grapplefk_media. Take care and stay tuned for more fighter picks. We've got more coming soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.